Hello everyone, welcome back to another Friday, another casual champion review. I forgot to press record, so we're starting this one a little bit later than usual, but that's fine because today we get to talk about Illaoi, a character very near and dear to my heart. Season 6, in my opinion, was the absolute peak of League of Legends character design. That whole time frame from 2015 to 2018, absolute fantastic. And Illaoi was the first champion of that season, so I'm really excited to play her. You know what else I'm excited for? Fan art section. I noticed a bit of a pattern. Usually when fellas do these fan art sections, the whole thing is that they draw me as the champion, or sometimes with the champion, if it'd be kind of hard to pull off to draw me as the champion. A lot of these drew me as the idol. I, I don't know why I find that so funny. That's great. I love these fan arts so much, fellas. Thank you. You're amazing. It's kind of funny. We actually do have a Season 6 battle here in the mid lane with Aurelion Sol and Illaoi. I think Sol wasn't the first champion released of the new season. I guess Illaoi technically was because of preseason. But you might also notice that we're playing in the mid lane and not the top lane. And I did play a game of Illaoi top for Casual Champion Review. Let's just say the game ended in a monumental top diff. But that's fine, because I originally wanted to play her mid anyways, because I enjoy playing Illaoi mid so much more than playing her top lane, because this character is so much about tentacle placement. And I mean, look at this. Perfect spawn location. The spawn locations in mid lane are so convenient. They make it so easy for wave clearing. They're easier to get, of course, especially for ranged champions, but it's so much more satisfying to set them up here than it is in top lane, where they appear every which way. So as for Illaoi's lore, if I said this or made this video about 3-ish years ago, I don't think anyone would know this, because for the League Zoomers out there, Illaoi used to be a very unknown character, incredibly unpopular in League of Legends. Well, she still is, but a champion that not really many people even knew existed, because she was that unpopular and that forgotten about by Riot. But to summarize her lore, she is a member of the Buru people in the Serpent Isles of Bilgewater, dedicated to the faith or religion of worshipping Boros, which is a serpent god. Serpent god? I think she's supposed to be like a head with a bunch of tentacles coming out of her that never end. We don't really know what Boros looks like, but they worship Boros and is based around desire. And I wrote this down, actually, that there's 3 different philosophies, 3 different main philosophies about worshiping Boros. So every spirit was born to serve the universe. Desire was built into every living being in the universe, and the universe only moves forward towards its destiny when living creatures chase their desires. The entire religion is based around chasing your desires and having goals and pursuing them. So there's no real distinction between good or evil, even though there really should be, and she learns that a bit. But the whole point is just, if you have a goal and you are strong enough to pursue that goal unending, then you are worthy of Boros. It's only when you stop pursuing your goal, you become lazy, you become stagnant, that you are no longer worthy of Boros and fall out of its favor. So at a young age, Illaoi had renowned spiritual talent and was suspected that when she grew up, she would become the new Truth Bearer, which is a very prestigious member of the Buru, I can't believe that hit, Buru People's Society. Because while it is the job of all priestesses in Buru Society to go after the undead, it is the Truth Bearer's goal to spearhead that operation, because they believe the undead are a mockery of life. The undead represent everything opposite of their philosophy. They're completely stagnant souls with no motivations, no goals, and unable to reincarnate into new life energy to serve the universe. But the Truth Bearer doesn't just do that, because again, all the priestesses do that. She also has to seek out formidable opponents, or I guess formidable individuals, that she tests with the power of Boros channeled through her idol. She literally rips out their soul, and the soul has to fight for their life. If they win, their soul is returned to them, and they can live with the knowledge that they are worthy to continue their pursuit in life. If they fail, well, their soul is absorbed and taken back by the universe, so it can be used better, whatever that means. Oh, see what I mean? Like, look at this tentacle placement in mid. Oh! Big Mama! This character is so janky like 90% of the time, but on those one occasions that you actually get it off, oh, she is so satisfying. So it was suspected for her renowned spiritual talent that she would grow up to become the new Truth Bearer, but in her youth she fell in love with a man by the name of Gangplank, and they had a relationship for a very long time. Fortunately, things kind of fell together. We don't really know the outcome of it. I'm sure it worked fine because Gangplank is a very sane and not evil individual. But after the breakup, she devoted herself to spreading the word of Nagake Bros among the rest of the Buru people and to the people of Bilgewater, which was unheard of for the Truth Bearer to do. Then you guys kind of know the rest of her story if you played Ruin King or seen any of the extra stuff, because she's actually been in a lot of lore. She rescued GP from the rummage, assumed that after she tested him he would fail, but turned out he was worthy of her power, and then provided him the means to go take the Ruin King, and then the whole Ruination game started, and she learned to, do I actually believe everything my god says? Because how is Gangplank worthy? How is Pike worthy? He's literally an undead. Is there some kind of higher power she called for? She begins to question her own religion, and yeah, this is pretty cool. She has a story with Yorick as well. That's kind of funny. The two forgotten Season 6 champions who probably need a CGU. There's also probably one of my favorite things in the Ruin King game was her interactions with Braum. The idea of her and Braum flirting. Well, she's technically flirting with Braum, but he is denying all her advances. Not in a, no, get away from me, and more of, he's so sheepish and shy. That's great. And also she implies that, oh my god. She implies that if Braum were to ever take her test, he would probably succeed in strides, because he does exactly what she preaches in her religion. He is always moving forward to new destinations, to new places, to pursue his goal of helping people. So she's got pretty rich lore, but what about her design? Well, she is, at the moment, the only buff woman in League. There are some who have minor little bits. Sejuani, depending on the skin. Samira's got a tiny bit. Vi in Arcane only. But as it stands, Illaoi is the only actually buff woman in the game. Not even just buff, she is built. She is so obscenely buff. It's like Braum, kind of, where it's just, I can't believe how buff this person is. But because of that, it makes her very unique in League of Legends. There is no other champion in League like Illaoi. We've seen some characters in Legend of Runeterra that have similar body types, but as for playable characters, no one even comes close. The thing is that I like about it too is not only is it unique, but it actually makes sense for her character. There's a lot of the time where people will make, I guess, not even redesigns. I'm guilty of this sometimes, where make characters that just have different body types for the sake of having different body types, even if it clashes with what the character's supposed to be. But Illaoi being buff not only makes her look more unique, especially at the time when she released, but it makes sense because her idol is goddamn huge. That thing probably weighs a ton. She would need to be really strong to be able to lug that thing around, and I'm happy they went with that idea of her actually needing to be strong to lug it around and not go the Vi route. Vi's always kind of upset me with that whole thing where it's just, oh, well, she doesn't actually need to be buff because the Hex Tech and the Gauntlets make it lighter for her. Yeah, that's stupid. That's stupid and dumb, and Vi should have some muscles, okay? She's a fighter. She punches you. The fact that her arms look like you could break them over your knee is stupid. Especially for Illaoi, it wouldn't make any sense at all if it was like, oh, my idol is actually not that heavy. Because I'm the Truth Bearer, it's lighter for me. No, that's the opposite of her philosophy. Her whole religion abolishes the idea of shortcuts. So it's nice to have a champion, not even just in the terms of having a female champion as opposed to a male one, but one who has musculature for a purpose. In the same way a champion like Evelynn or Ahri is made to be more sexually appealing for the sake of their character, making Illaoi build makes sense for her. But she has a lot of things that make her look unique. She still has the green aesthetic, which ties her very much into Bilgewater. She still looks like a Bilgewater champion, but very different with all the tribal tattoos, the hairdo, the armor plating. It has its own unique aesthetic with still remaining that Bilgewater look. On the topic of her whole thing being built, primarily musculature is known as a primarily masculine trait. And we have a couple more feminine trait, I should say, men in the game now, especially with Hui. Illaoi takes on that whole masculine female idea, but she still has the traditionally feminine thing. She still has the wide hips. Damn it, she still has the wide hips, the long hair, the jewelry. I really like that. I think it's nice to have a cool blend, not moving too far away. That's something that I did with my Shyvana redesign. I made her so... I gave her a lot of more traditionally masculine features to the point a lot of people couldn't even recognize that she was a woman. And I like the idea of making her more androgynous because she's a shapeshifter, but Yeah, to each their own. The most fascinating thing about Illaoi to me, though, is what has become of her in the years since her release. Because, like I said, when she released, she was a complete unknown. She was just some random gimmicky champion, as much of the Season 6 champions were. And compared her to Jin or Aurelion Sol or even champions like Talia, she didn't leave that much of an impact on the game's universe or world. She came right after Burning Tides, so she didn't get to get involved in that whole hype session. I really am getting the Illaoi experience right now, aren't I? But it's weird to see her now because she went from this very unknown niche champion to a character most people familiar with the League of Legends IP know her because she's been in so much stuff now. She had a primary role in the Ruined King game, a ton of lore appearances. Like I said, she had that one with Yorick, which was a great read, by the way. It kind of explains where Yorick was during the whole Ruination segment. Unworthy. Oh, this is big. Oh, this is big. Oh. Oh, Big Mama. Oh, shit. Oh, I didn't get anyone. The truth bearer lives another day. Unworthy. Fuck. The craziest thing to me, though, isn't all that stuff. It's that Illaoi is in Project L. And not just she's going to be in Project L eventually. She was the 5th character. We had, what? Ari, Echo, Jinx, Darius, Illaoi. And I know Katarina was in the initial cut of the game, but that whole version of Project L was scrapped and they built it from scratch. So there's a high probability Katarina isn't even in the game. Why would they not announce her yet? So I count Illaoi as the 5th character in Project L. And out of the 160 champions they had to choose from, choosing a character like Illaoi, which is very unpopular in League, still is, even after all the lore stuff and extra stuff in Runeterra, she still is very unpopular. To pick her, well, because she fits a fighting game. I love that an unpopular champion is getting the time in the limelight that she deserves because Illaoi is a really awesome character. But now we can get into kind of the bad stuff because there is a reason why Illaoi is not very popular. I think it's the same reason Aurelion Sol was not very popular for the longest time. It's a reason a lot of the Season 6 champions, which have fantastic designs, are not very popular because their kits kind of suck ass. Season 6 was very experimental for champions, not just for how they looked, but for how they played. And Illaoi was designed to be the pinnacle lane bully with all the tentacle setup and all the combos, trying to get as many people around you as possible to maximize the effect of your abilities. It's a weird playstyle that incentivizes split pushing above all else. You do significantly worse in a team setting because you don't have your tentacles set up and trying to coordinate with your team. You want everyone to be around you, so ideally you'd want everyone to come near you while you're split pushing. And that playstyle not only gets very boring, but it's also very toxic. The League Zoomers won't remember, but when Illaoi first released her Test of Spirit, her E, it had 2 differences. Like right now, Asol hitting me there would have reduced the duration of the E. It doesn't do that now, I don't think. But the caveat for that weakness was that if you actually broke the Test of Spirit, it would last for a full minute. You know how it lasts for like 10 seconds now? Yeah, imagine a minute of trying to dodge all the tentacles and stuff. It was a nightmare. And it really sucks because I think Illaoi could use a CGU, but the E, it probably would need to go because it is a very toxic ability that her entire character is built around. Even in a team fight, if I don't land this E, then the team fight's not even worth playing because I do so much less damage. But it's the most thematically appropriate move she has. She literally yoinks your soul from your body, just like in the lore. It's great. I just wish she required less setup, less perfect things. All the stars need to align for a perfect Illaoi fight to happen, and it just kind of sucks and becomes really stale. But like I said at the beginning, when the stars do align, this champion is oh so satisfying. So I don't really know what I would change about her. I do think her and Yorick are ripe for Siege. This is coming from someone who has Mastery 7 of both of those champions. It could benefit. I just don't know what they would do. Now you would... Oh. Well, thank you for joining me on this week's Casual Champion Review, and Happy New Year, everybody. Next week, I get to talk about Irelia. I hate myself.